We must meet our students exactly where they are, with exactly the minds they have right now. We must use all the tools available to us and not expect them to fit into a mold or all behave exactly the same way. Says Dr. Jean R. Carter, who is quoted in the Huffington Post article titled, "How a Change in Schools Transformed My ADHD Son's Educational Path" by Dean Delfinals, published August 28, 2014. Children all over the U.S. are being diagnosed with ADHD, and many of them are not on medication or being taken off of medication, and it is affecting their learning in the current public school system set in place right now. I believe a policy should be made for schools to adopt an alternative learning program for unmedicated students. I am a future educator and therefore passionate about the education system and its students. I've done extensive research on this topic because I am passionate, and I've heard of firsthand accounts from my parents who are both teachers. So first, I will explain the problem of having unmedicated students in the public school system. Secondly, I will describe a solution of adopting an alternative learning program. And thirdly, I will share the advantages this program will have on all students, even teachers. So firstly, unmedicated students with ADHD are affecting the school system. Too many children are being taken off medication due to recommendation from their doctors or personal decisions from their parents. According to Kimberly Holland in her Healthline article published on September 4th, 2014, 6.4% of U.S. children are diagnosed with ADHD. 6.1% of these students are being treated with medicine. However, 1 in 5 students diagnosed are receiving no medication or treatment whatsoever. It's almost impossible to require parents to afford medication because the cost is so high. It is approximately $1,600 per person per year to afford medication. According to Blair Brody's article, The Shocking Cost of Your Child's ADHD, at the Fiscal Times, published April 1st, 2013. However, these children are still experiencing these symptoms. According to Mayo Clinic staff overseen by Sandy Apruthi in the article ADHD in Children on March 11, 2016, the symptoms of ADHD are inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. This means that the children have issues focusing, they have excess energy that they need to get out by fidgeting, and then they're also impulsive, and so they're distracting and disrupting in their classes. My mom is a vocal elementary music teacher for the Wichita Public School Systems, and she has many accounts firsthand of experience with children with ADHD. She told me this story a few years ago, and it'll forever stick in my mind. It was leading up to a program, so the week before she takes her students in to the gym where they have the stage and the riser set up, and the kids can go through their presentation as if it was a dress rehearsal, as if there was an audience there. However, she had one student who the week before had been taken off of his medications for ADHD, and he could not handle being in that situation. So since they're in the gym, my mom concluded to let the child stay on the sideline of the full-length basketball court. And for 45 minutes straight, he ran around the sideline, hardly stopping and hardly slowing down. Now, this was in a class where he was able to get up, move, dance, sing, and to get extra energy out. How is he supposed to function in a classroom where he's required to sit still and pay attention and be quiet? He's not, and that's the issue. And so secondly, I believe changes to this public education system should be adopted to accommodate for these students who are unmedicated. If they would provide an alternative learning program which would combine active seating, behavioral therapy, and kinesthetic learning, then the students would be able to learn better. WebMD shares that behavioral therapy is an alternative treatment to ADHD medication in their article posted on November 14, 2014. Active seating is based on the idea that it is not healthy for the body to be seated for long periods of time. Too much seating has been shown to lead to soreness, fatigue, and lack of focusing ability, says Jason Hinklin Lauderdale in his article Active Seating in the Special Needs Classroom, published on October 31st, 2016. Active seating can be accomplished through wobble chairs or large exercise balls. Practically any alternative alternative seating arrangement where the child is allowed to move a little bit, fidget, get a little energy out, but in the end, focus better. These alternative learning programs would also operate like private institutions that cater specifically to children with learning disabilities. These alternative schools are day schools. They have more learning activities and they combine kinesthetic learning, which means that they're simply learning by doing. And this alternative learning program would combine all of these aspects. So thirdly, the alternative learning program would benefit all students, even teachers. The children with ADHD would be able to focus better and use their own creativity to learn. Instead of suppressing their learning disability, they would be learning to embrace it and use it to benefit their own education. It will also help their peers focus as well. Instead of having a child run around the gym for 45 minutes when you're going to be able to sing, they're actually paying attention and learning in their classes as well. And then teachers will also be a little less stressed. Being a teacher is stressful, and there are certain things that come with the job that they have to overcome, and they also have disciplinary issues every day that they have to accomplish. And these alternative learning programs would help alleviate this stress, and it would provide one less student to worry about. So in conclusion, I first explained the problem of having unmedicated students in the education system and how the education system is not accommodating to their needs. Secondly, I described a solution for an alternative learning program to help these students learn. And thirdly, I shared the advantages of having this system on all students, even teachers. So this audience, some of you may be parents right now, but I bet many of us will be parents in the future. And so therefore, we should all be passionate about the education system and its students. We can all speak publicly at the Board of Education meetings for the Wichita Public School System every second and fourth Monday at the North High Lecture Hall. During these meetings, I always have a section where the public can bring up issues that are concerning them at that time, and they can work through the problems. For more information about the Wichita Public School Board of Education, you can go to usd259.org and search under the tab titled About WPS. And by doing so, you will be sharing with them that you see changes in the children. Because they are. And if the kids are changing, then the educational system needs to change as well. Because in the end, those kids, they are our future.